Hi, guys. How
Hello.
are you?
Good.
Good?
Good.
You guys have a good day at school?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time tonight to talk to me. I'm very excited to learn more about Kizer. He sounds like a pretty tricky crab.
Yeah. He can find a lot of stuff and stuff like that. Like one day we took him to the beach and then there's this plastic container we put and then he started crawling around the edge. And it was pretty tough.
So has he always been a breakout artist? Has he always tried to escape?
Yeah, pretty much. Like he escaped from the cage but we've caught him back in. Yeah.
Well, what did you guys think when he was missing for so long?
We thought he might have been dead or a car ran him over on a lawnmower. Yeah, and we thought we'd never find him. And if we had found him, then we would have to put up flyers.
You guys didn't make flyers, did you?
No.
Oh, that would be amazing. Like, can you imagine the little picture of Kizer on there?
Yep. Yeah, that would kind of be.
Well, so how did it feel when all of it, you figure out, oh my gosh, so a neighbor found Kizer?
So actually the neighbor was our school nurse.
What are the chances?
Yeah, like she lives like right down the street.
And she says, oh, by the way, I have your crab.
No, she didn't know our crab. It was on Facebook and it just said, is anyone missing an escape artist's pet?
And you guys happen to be.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, what does it say about Kizer that he was able to make it that far?
Yeah. Yeah. It's far for a crab. Pretty far, but not too far.
I just think even out the front door is like a really long journey for a hermit crab.
Oh, I was gonna say that he actually lived outside in the driveway, but
Is that where his cage is?
yeah, no, so the cage is inside right now because we were gonna show it to you. Now it's inside because it's kind of cold. We got him in around October, so he was just like out there. Yeah. So 2 of them escaped actually.
Tell me about the other one.
The other one was named Pincher, and it was my Kaiser's Andrew's crab. Yeah. And then Pincher also escaped the day after Kizer when we were at school. So we made this cardboard house for him. And they climbed over it and out of the cage. So now they're gone. They were gone. And then we found Kizer, but we still haven't found Pincher.
Well, now people will know to be on the lookout. What does he look like? What does Pincher look like?
Kind of greenish. Andrew can show you. We have another hermit crab that kind of looks like him. And this is what he kind of looks like. He's kind of very sleepy. This is the shell he kind of looks like.
Oh, okay.
So this one, that one's asleep.
Well, you can tell her originally we had him in a big clear tub and it was really tall. And then we had to get an official crab habitat after they escaped. You can tell her that.
Yeah, so we had this plastic container and then it was really big. And then there was like tall and we thought, okay, they'll never escape. And then we just put it outside and we said, okay, they'll be happier outside than they are inside. So then we just put like food and stuff like that. And then they figured it out. They crawled over it. Yeah. And then they just went away.
It sounds like they're pretty smart.
Yeah. We have 6 of them currently. So Andrew's gonna wake up Kizer.
Well, you can tell them that mommy felt bad because they all escaped. And so then we went back to Galveston and bought more.
Yeah.
So you started off with 3?
Yes. And then now we have this 6.
Well, what happened to the third original one?
The third original one died. I think it's because he sat in the water too long and then he drowned. Oh, here's Kizer.
Okay, so we're going to show her. Why don't we show Miss Brandy Kizer?
Aww.
Here he comes. And we can put him on the plate.
Is he your most active one, Jason?
I guess so.
I was gonna say he's not shy at all. He's just popping right out.
Put him on the plate.
He's pretty fast.
And he'll try to crawl probably off the side.
I don't want him to die. So
Did you guys have a sense that he was an escape threat at all before he got out?
no, we didn't really, because we just thought he was like, okay, it's a hermit crab. And then we're glad that he was a fun pet because he can do a lot of stuff like climb over sand in Galveston. Yeah. We made like a gym for them and there was like a track. And then he could climb over that stuff, so that we were like, okay, this one's a very fast crab. Yeah.
And where did you guys get him?
Oh, we bought him at the store called Murdoch's in Galveston. And they just sell they have a whole tub of crabs and you can pick them out in like cage and stuff.
And Andrew picked out Kizer?
Yeah. So originally this never would have happened if he had taken the smaller one, and then we had to switch it out for Kizer because it wasn't moving. So then that's how it all happened. And then Kizer was very active.
So you got the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were supposed to make the houses for shade. Yeah, but they weren't for climbing.
What did you make the house out of?
Those houses were made out of straws, tape, and cardboard. Yes.
It sounds like you guys are pretty creative and very good pet owners.
Yeah, we like to be creative.
So the crabs that you have now, you have Kizer back. What are the other two named? Or I guess there are 6. So what are the other 5?
So there's Krabby, there's Baller, there's Hello. Yeah, and there's Shelly, and there's Spiral. Andrew is getting them out currently, I think. So this is Baller. He's painted like a basketball.
And where did you get?
Look at that.
They're all from Murdoch's. So you can kind of wake him up, but you see his claws kind of shaking, but no, I can nothing. And then he's bringing some water. This one's Crabby. Water wakes them up.
Crabby, okay.
I think we can wake this one up. See, his antenna is moving inside here.
Uh-huh.
And then where's the plate? Oh, the plate is over there. So then we can put it on. Here's
Just
Hello.
Be careful because we're gonna have to look for them under the couch later.
Crab. It's the smallest hermit crab. And then we have Spiral, who is right here.
They're way more active. I had hermit crab. Oh, which one's this one?
Spiral.
Gotcha. I had hermit crab when I was little.
Green one is very active. It's this. It's not active.
Yeah, he's being hermity. Well, I appreciate you guys introducing me to all of them. What do you want to tell your neighbors? Maybe to be on the lookout for Pincher?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you We really thank the school nurse, which his name is Nurse Sarah. Yeah. For finding him.
Perfect. And then Mom.
Yes.
Is it okay if I ask you a couple questions too?
Yeah.
So just from the beginning, tell me when you got them, where you got them, and then how we got to the point where the two made the escape.
So Jason, we got them in October 8th. And we went on a trip to Galveston and we had seen this. We went to the store named Murdoch's. It's a really well-known gift store. And it was our first time. And the kids bought 3 hermit crabs. And we had a tiny cage and we thought that they would like being outdoors because it was cool outside, fresh air. So we got one of these big plastic bins from the container store. And it was probably 6 or 8 inches high. So, and these crabs are like an inch tall.
They're not that big.
And the kids were worried that it might get too hot on the driveway. So they created like lots of little houses and huts for them. And for a while, a good like 3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
They were living very comfortably in there.
1 week actually.
And the one crab, Kizer, was constantly like scraping around the corners, and we could figure out that he was trying to get himself out. But we didn't ever think that he would climb over the house that they made and over the plastic container, down the side, down the stand. And then by the time we came home from school and work, he was gone. And the weird thing is there was still one left in there. And the first one died. We had 3.
Yeah,
one died. Then Kizer ran away.
And then
Pincher figured it out. And the next day he was gone. So they're very smart.
Yeah, and that was all happened 3 days in a row.
And it all happened 3 days in a row. It was really a weird 3 days. But we were impressed.
Yeah.
I was actually really impressed because the third crab figured it out. Like he watched somebody do it and then he figured it out and ran off. And we went looking for it. We checked the grass, we checked the bushes.
This is a funny story. We put Spiral out and watched him walk by himself, and we followed him to see if he would like find Kizer by going the same places as him, but he never did. He just wanted to go to the other stuff.
We could not figure out where the crabs would have gone. And I guess it didn't travel very far because our nurse, she was taking a run on Sunday morning and she ran down the street and she told me she found it on the sidewalk. And there it was. And it was probably 3 houses away from our house.
So that's a huge amount. That's a huge length for a little crab to try.
Right. And who knows where it lived. And I mean, we all cut our grass and it's probably the size of like a little rock. I'm shocked that it survived all the lawn and landscaping.
And the tornado.
And the tornado and the storms and who knows what else.
And the cold.
The cold, yeah.
Right.
And he was right under our nose.
Well, you're mom. How do you, okay, so I've had instances where we used to have like little hamsters, like when they get out and at a certain point you're like, well, that one's not coming back. When you see a post that on Facebook 2 months later, like that's our crab?
It was so bizarre. I mean, it was because I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw the crab picture and I was like, oh my gosh, is that our crab? And I had to ask the kids because I'm not sure exactly what our crab looked like. And the kids were like, yeah, that's the one because he's always got a crack on top of his shell. And what do you know? Within 15 minutes, we contacted Nurse Sarah and we realized that Nurse Sarah is our neighbor and she lives, several blocks down from our house, but was running nearby.
That is wild.
She's the true star because if she did not post that, I mean,
Kizer
wouldn't be here and we wouldn't have been so delighted and surprised. I think that's the coolest part is how did a 1-inch animal live on his own
for
3 months out there?
So like, what did he eat?
What did he eat?
What did he drink? And also finding it was a 1 in 1 million chance.
Yeah, it feels like it was a 1 in 1 million chance. We gave up within a few hours of looking for him.
Like a month, maybe. They're not that long.
Well, I have to ask, what kind of, how are you making sure that Kizer doesn't make a break for it again?
So for right now, there's not the door on it. There's a door. On the top, there's a door. And then
we also purchased this at Murdoch's.
It's a much bigger cage. And they can't like crawl up the side of the wall or anything.
Well, this was the same height. Actually, our plastic bin was probably the same height, if not a little bit taller than this. But it didn't have the cover on it because we just used like a regular plastic bin and kept it off.
And there's also the cover is for shade, and they don't have to worry about shade because they're inside in the camera. And then we have this little lock thing. We will close the handle over it, so then when you pull it open, it doesn't open.
Yep.
That'll keep him in there.
How do you give them? You make sure they get outside.
Yeah. So now we just let them go, and they roam. Maybe like twice or 3 times a week.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
take them on walks on the driveway.
yeah, and then they like play around and we let them go into the leaves.
Oh, we take out pieces of wood for them to crawl on.
Yeah, and we like one time we made Crab Island, and then we just made wood everywhere for them to crawl around, and then once they crawled on it, it was like kind of raised. We put a leaf there so then we know they traveled there.
I'm like,
So we know they like to be
a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time. I just think this is the sweetest story. So I really appreciate it.